morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on After GMS. It is Tuesday, April 5th. I'm Tracy McCain here with meteorologist Christian Morgan and our Sydney Moore. And what's this? Is this supposed to be a live camera?
It's High Point. Used to be.
Wow.
Technical difficulties.
It's just all covered up in fog this morning.
No, it's fog.
Oh, it's fog.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties. I'm sorry.
No,
Wow.
just fog. Weather difficulties.
There you go.
So that means there's heavy fog in the area. Talk us through this and what it means for the rest of the morning.
Yeah, so fog out there this morning. Keep that in mind as you're traveling for your morning commute time frame. It's patchy, but it's not everywhere, but it's patchy. We have this warm air moving in over some slightly cooler air that we have, and of course that causes condensation, and that's what creates fog. So High Point is somewhere in here, I promise. Same thing kind of with Greensboro and High Point and Burlington and Winston-Salem. They're all there, I promise. 40s out the door this morning for most of us. Some upper 40s in places. 49 Winston-Salem, 51 Greensboro, 49 in Asheboro, 51 in Lexington, 51 up in Walnut Cove, 50 in Reedsville, 45 over in Burlington this morning. Of course, on a wide view on the radar, this is our big system that's heading our way later today and for this evening. Really wreaking havoc over the deep south right now. Several severe thunderstorm warnings along that initial line. I don't expect us to have a really busy day with severe weather, but I do expect us to have some heavy rain at times. And actually, the first tornado warning along this line is in Mississippi this morning, as it just popped up while we're talking about it. High pressure that's been in control of our weather over the weekend and early yesterday is now sliding offshore. That allows this warm front to lift to the north and this pesky area of low pressure to track pretty close by to us. Meanwhile, this line of rain and storms out ahead of that is what will be impacting us, and the heaviest stuff is going to stay to our south. So South Carolina down to Georgia, down into Alabama, those folks could have a busier day with severe weather on their hands, more so than I think that we will here in the Triad. Of course, as that moves away from us, we get a little bit of a break in the action for your Wednesday. Wednesday, we're going to warm up as warm air surges from the south ahead of our next system, which will be that cold front. We're going to make a run at 80 degrees tomorrow. And most of the day is dry. It's just windy tomorrow with some gusts on the order of 30 miles per hour. Then as that second system heads our way late Wednesday night into Thursday morning, that cold front will sweep by. And it doesn't look like it has a whole lot of rain with it, but I still think there could be a few scattered showers, maybe a couple bumpy, strong to severe thunderstorms Thursday morning before lunchtime. After that, things will quiet down as we go into the end of the week. So as you take a look at our severe weather risk, again, just a general risk for thunderstorms across the Triad today. A little better chance of that to our south and to our east, where there is a level 1 out of 5. That's that marginal risk. And it does include the southern tip of Randolph County and does include Montgomery County as well. But again, I expect most of the severe weather to stay well to our south today. Then as we go into late Wednesday night into Thursday morning with that second system, our chance is a little bit better. But again, I don't expect there to be a whole lot in the way of showers and storms, but one or two maybe on the strong or severe side. So keep checking back for updates on that. Here's how today pans out. If you take it hour by hour, mostly clouds through the early afternoon. You are fine to do anything you want to do outside up until about 2 or 3 o'clock. After that, we'll start to see this line of rain pushing in the foothills first, then making it into the Triad around dinner time. So really that evening commute could be quite bumpy from time to time. So carry the umbrella with you as you head out this morning. You will not need it this morning, but you will as you go into the afternoon. So notice as this rolls through 5 to 8 really in the Triad. Then after that, things are moving out, clearing out, and we will be just fine as we wind down the day and head into your Tuesday night. Partly cloudy overnight, and then we'll have a dry Wednesday on the way. So there's those rough arrival times again for you. 3 to 6 in the foothills, 5 to 8 in the Triad, 6 to 9 pushing east of the Triad. And today's wrapped up all nice and neat in one graphic. Outside of any thunderstorms that we get, it's going to be a windy day of weather with gusts on the order of 30 miles per hour today, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday too. We just cannot get away from the wind, can we? It is the windiest time of the year historically, though, so it does make sense. There's what you need to know as you look over the next few days. Again, that better chance for severe weather comes on Thursday morning as that second system pushes by. After that, we're dry and we are quiet and cooler too. Heading into the weekend, we'll play a little baseball downtown Greensboro with the Hoppers on Friday, opening day. Cooler and windy with highs in the low 60s. Chilly Saturday in the 50s, 60s again by Sunday, and we're back up to 70s again by Monday, early next week.
Well, before we dive into our first conversation about the national championship game, we want to give you a few moments to ask your weather questions, and Christian's going to do a great job answering them. We don't have any on the feed at this moment, so go ahead and write those in, but we'll start with the main concern for today, and then really tomorrow and Thursday as well.
Today, really, the main concern is just heavy rain.
Yeah,
You know, there could be a couple bumpy thunderstorms, but we're just in that general risk for, you know, regular old thunder and lightning. So some of that could be loud. There could be some frequent lightning in this, but the severe weather risk is super, super low for the triad today. A little more to our south and to our east, where they're at a level 1 out of 5 today. And then really our best chance for severe weather doesn't really come until we get into late Thursday night and early Thursday morning with that second system. So some of this rain today really will be quite heavy at times, maybe torrential at times. So that evening commute, I know I've said that a lot, but that really could be quite messy as you head home. So take it slow, plan to take a couple extra minutes on the way home from work or school or your errands, maybe the gym, whatever you're doing this afternoon and this evening, because it will be raining quite heavy at times. And I think over the course of the next couple days, today and Thursday system, we'll pick up around an inch, maybe 1.5 inches of rain in some of the triad, but most of that comes today. Doesn't look like a ton of moisture with the system on Thursday, but it looks like the severe weather parameters are a little more hyped up for Thursday, so may see a chance to, if we get any storms, they would be a little more on the bumpy side Thursday morning.
And just in case, would it be safe if you have some stuff on your porch and things of that nature? Maybe just go ahead and put those inside.
Yeah, good question. Go ahead and pull that in, and leave it in really over the next few days, because even outside of rain or storms, it's going to be windy. We'll have gusts on the order of 25 to 30 miles per hour today. That'll continue tomorrow and Thursday and Friday as well. It's just kind of that windy time of the year. And, I've had a lot of questions lately about why is it so windy? Why does it seem like we're always talking about wind? As you go into spring, really the things that drive storms and drive severe weather are the big deal changes.
Right.
So we have a change in temperature. We have a lot of ups and downs. We're going to go from the 70s close to 80 tomorrow. We'll be in the 50s on Saturday. All this up and down with several different systems are what drive those systems to move and are what drive severe weather. So it makes sense that it would be windy this time of the year. So I promise as we get into summer, things get a little more evened out.
That wind just makes it so much more cold too.
It makes it colder.
Not fun.
Tomorrow's a warm wind though. It'll just be warm and muggy tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Last week when I was driving into work that really, really windy morning, I saw trash, all over the street because the trash cans were scheduled to be picked up that day, and they had been tossed all around. And then I got home and like my spring ornaments that I had on my decorations on my door had like blown away.
Oh yeah.
But thankfully I was smart and put my name on them, and then my neighbor returned them the next day.
I say it jokingly, but if anything that's in your yard that's loose, whether that's patio furniture, whether it's a trampoline, whether it's trash cans, if you don't want it to end up at Bob and Sally's down the road, then you better tie it down, because I can assure you when you go to pick it up, they're not going to be happy about it hitting your car or anything like that. So anything you can bring in, bring it in. A lot of people say they have trampolines and they turn those over to make sure the wind doesn't get under them and pick them up. That's always a good thing too. And if you have trash cans on the side of your house, if you have a garage and kind of bring those in, that's a good thing to do. But if not, make sure you tie them down. A bungee strap or a tow rope or anything to kind of just lock them in place is always a good thing. And if you have patio furniture, it's best to tie that down and bring it in too.
We did get one question from someone who said, should we be okay for our zoo trip tomorrow with the school? And the zoo being in Ashboro. So
is that Wednesday?
Wednesday's tomorrow, yeah.
So really tomorrow's an okay day of weather.
Okay.
It's just warm and windy all day long. We'll make it around 80 degrees, mix of sun and clouds for Wednesday. Really anything you want to do on Wednesday is fine up until about bedtime, really. That's when that second system starts to arrive. So we may have a few showers, maybe a couple thunderstorms overnight into Thursday morning, but Wednesday daytime, all day
perfect.
Wednesday is fine.
Awesome.
Someone says they normally flip the trampoline over in case that.
Yeah, because what happens is, your trampoline sits up on the legs, and a lot of times if you get a strong wind gust, it can get up under that and pick that trampoline up, especially in a strong thunderstorm. So it's better to turn it over.
Has a better hold.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Jessica, you should be A-okay. I'm writing that down. All right, so we've already started getting some comments about our conversation today about the championship game, and of course, it was a nail biter to the end. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Carolina fans, we want to know how you're feeling this morning after a really valiant effort last night on the court versus Kansas. It was a game that I felt lived up to the hype
100%.
because it came down to like the wire. Of course, the first half, Carolina's looking good. They have a 15-point lead. Fans are on the edge of their seats, and then the second half comes, and we're just like, What's going on?
What happened?
Right, what's going on? But of course, Kansas does pull away with the win. Their first national championship since 2008. They win this one 72-69.
Well, we want to know, how do you feel about UNC's first season with Coach Davis? And some of you are already texting in your responses. So Andrea says, Carolina had a great season and we are proud of them. Coach Hubert, you did fine and looking forward to many years of your coaching. Another viewer says, as an alum of UNC, I am very proud of Coach Davis and his team. Respect for our program has returned to Carolina. Roll Heels, win it all next year. Another person says, I've never been more proud of our team. They counted us out all year and we made it to the final game. Coach Davis did an amazing job. Always a Tar Heel. Renee says, he's great. Welcome to North Carolina, Coach. I'm so glad he's here. Oh, all the love. We love to see it.
Yeah.
And it's just exciting just for them to be able to, like I said, make it all the way like that. I mean, and just like they said, I mean, some people probably didn't see that coming, you know, and so for them to make it all the way, and unfortunately losses happen, but to be able to have that opportunity is exciting.
You know, today, 1 year ago today, is when Hubert Davis took the reins from Roy Williams officially.
Oh, wow.
1 year ago today.
Talk about your Carolina history.
And without a doubt, wow, what a great pick that was. You know, there's always some skepticism and some worry about, you know, when you have the coach turnover. You know, I saw it happen a couple times when I was at school at App, and you always go through this rebuilding period. But golly, it didn't take long for Carolina to do that. You know, they came out first of the year, ice cold. They had a lot of ups and downs, but boy, they got hot right when you needed to get hot toward the end of the season. And it takes a while because every coach has a different, you know, a different way that they approach things and a different way that they coach. And when you have a team that's used to playing under this, you know, under the way that Roy Williams coached, now they have to adapt to the way that Hubert Davis does business. And it did not take them long to do that. There's so much talent on the Carolina team, and you can see. Hubert Davis, you can see the passion that he has for it and how much he loves being there. And I'll say this too, as you guys know, I'm a guy of faith, and he made a comment the other night about his faith and how strong that was in what he does, and I thought that was just exceptional.
Yeah, I mean, he's a class act. There's a picture that went viral that our Amanda Ferguson took of Coach Davis kind of greeting and consoling Coach K's wife after the Final Four game on Saturday. And that picture says 1,000 words, you know, that he would, you know, go to her and, you know, make sure that he greeted her, shook her hand. I mean, just a class act, a stand-up guy. And I feel like, you know, most of the coaches in the ACC are the exact same way. But I felt like that moment spoke volumes for his character and what he's teaching about character on the entire roster for the Carolinas team. And you saw that in his statements last night after the game, the championship game. He said, you know, I should be really disappointed, but he said, I am full of pride for this team. And he already started talking about, you know, the future, knowing that this was a young squad. And he's like, I can't wait until next year. He said, it hurts right now, it stings a little bit, but next year, he said, think about where we're gonna go.
Oh yeah, you know, to come out and do this first season and, you know, like I said, got hot right when you needed to get hot toward the end. And you know, honestly, I wonder if the bigger, I know it would have been huge to win the whole thing overall, but I wonder if the bigger game for Carolina this time around was the game on Saturday night against Duke.
You wonder, huh?
And even just after that game when they won, if you remember seeing him dancing with the players at the end of it, was just so, you could just tell how much the players love him and how much he loves the players. It was so fun.
Well, and he also is Carolina alum. You know, he played for Carolina, so he knows all about the rivalry.
It's woven in him.
Has all his Carolina history too, so I'm sure that game, but then also the Kansas game meant a lot because he had history with Kansas as well, playing in a Final Four matchup against them, or at least a tournament game. I can't remember what phase it was in 1991. But let's go ahead and go through some of the comments here because y'all are really going for it. Let's see.
Debbie, she
do
says
you want to start
proud.
with Debbie?
Yeah, Debbie says proud of the Tar Heels. Bobby says Coach Davis did an amazing job considering it's his first year as head coach. And Scott Lynch says considering a month ago we weren't even sure if Carolina was going to make the tournament. Great run. Carolina fans should be proud.
Yeah, Mark Johnson said go Duke. And we also heard from I think Jessica Richards said she was still a little salty. Duke wasn't in that game. So we still have some Duke friends on here wondering what could have been. Someone wanted to know how they blew a 15-point lead. That was R. Brian, and he is a Carolina fan. He also said he didn't want to go there today because he's still hurting. And then we heard from, let's see, did you read Scott Lynch's?
I
that
did.
Was a good one. Okay,
yes.
I thought so. But, R. Brian explained that they, from the start of the second half, just really didn't make great shot selection, and that's how they blew that 15-point lead.
Yeah.
So.
Took a lot of three. Carolina could not hit the threes last night, and we took too many opportunities to try to get threes. Where when we're playing in the paint, that's your bread and butter. So I think we left a lot of opportunities on the field with that.
And to only lose by then 3.
Yeah. And same thing with same thing I was talking to people talking about the Duke game and now talking about the Kansas game too. Those are two teams where you cannot get down by a bunch and expect to come back and win. You have to hold the lead or you have to hold it within a few points of each other. Kansas got down by 15, but you notice how quickly they can rally and come back. And so you can't, as Carolina, you can't get down by so much and be able to come back.
I mean, because, when you go into halftime, it's a lot of conversations going on in the locker room. It's make or break. You can be excited if you're winning or losing, but it's always anybody's game. And how fast basketball goes back and forth and gaining those points, you just never know.
And I would not have wanted to been in the Kansas locker room at halftime last night. I'll tell you that.
Well, it was a good thing they were because that's what they needed. You know, who knows? So I just asked a question that I want y'all to get in on the feed here because this has come up in some of the blogs that I was reading just to kind of prep for today's conversation because I didn't get to watch the game yesterday. But there were several comments about whether the Final Four should be held on one Saturday and then the next Saturday should the championship game be held because there are some points that, with the game, the Final Four on Saturday, these in a whole month of just combat, basically. And then, bodies are tired, players are tired. Do they need more time to kind of recoup and get to, full, steam and need a whole week to do that? Because right now they have a day and then they play that Monday.
I think that's part of the test, though. I mean, this is me selfishly agreeing in one thing because, if you had it on a following weekend on a Saturday, then you probably have more people that, would be able to stay up and watch. Not to say they couldn't last night, but I mean, for folks who work early. I mean, I went to bed early, then got up to watch the game, and then went back to bed. And I saw a lot of people, even that work, normal schedules, like, dang, really, 9:30? We have so many young kids that can't really stay up and watch. So in one sense, I say yes. It also interferes with the Masters coming up this weekend. We don't want to do that. Second off, I think it's part of the test. I think it's part of the test to see how tough the teams are. I think that's part of the madness. Or maybe a Friday night.
The Masters is, a 4-day.
Yeah.
Which it always is, every tournament. And then, the Masters, everybody really starting to watch on Saturday. Even though, diehards like me, I watch Thursday and Friday.
I watch practice rounds.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, I think that they could. I think it's probably all about money. It could also be about, education because, you're then keeping these student athletes out of school another week where they could be learning. But, I mean, they've been gone, so I'm assuming that they've probably been having to keep up with their studies on the road, but I'm not really sure how that works.
I wonder if they would bring them back to North Carolina and then have them go back up to New Orleans or something like that. Because when you think of football, they have a week span before every game or something. I was very shocked to see that the games were close like that. I was
traditionally
I was just thinking, they're going to play in the next few days, and then I saw them go the next day without me knowing basketball too much. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
So you got to be tough.
I mean, and I felt like when I was watching the highlights, Carolina just looked a little tired. They looked a little fatigued. I don't know if there was a stomach bug going around or maybe they just really were. They had the late game on Saturday night and they played their tushes off. You know what I mean? To get to this point. So maybe, I mean,
And
Could they have been tired? I
Could
don't
have been
know.
tired.
And it would say a lot of pressure too playing against Duke, beforehand because of that rivalry. So many fans are excited. That can take a lot of excitement and energy, out of you to prepare for that. Then you win, then you got to prepare now going into the national championship against
It was like they had 2 final championships.
right
Back to back.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you what the blogs are asking. So let's see what y'all are saying here. If anybody was able to answer that question or at least say what you felt. Our Brian said yes. Lakaya said definitely that isn't enough time to recoup. Our Brian also said Carolina was still lost in the air from beating Duke in the historic game. Yeah, just kind of like what you were saying. LeVar Jarrell said absolutely let them take a break and get themselves together before the next game. Christian, do you want to read your comment?
Yeah, I just said I think the playing the championship game so close after the Final Four is really, really a testament to the tournament to really see which team is the toughest. Which team can battle it out, which team has the steam and can withhold that. So I think that might be part of the test. I think that's part of the March Madness craziness.
Well, there is a kind of another side to this. Jessica Richards said yes and no. I think it keeps the team and fans hyped up when you do it back to back. Yeah. Because, I don't know that people left Franklin Street from Saturday night. It was like, looking.
Duke fans,
and the Dean Center was packed both nights. So maybe fans were just in the area and they're like, hey, I can't make it to New Orleans, so I'm staying here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you made a good point too when you said how people, have those hotel reservations as well too, and if you're staying there, it's much more easier to stay there back to back versus coming up that week and like, am I gonna come back? I don't know. I guess I'll just catch it on TV now. I was already up there last week.
It's it's a lot, and it's crazy to see the week of what tickets are going for. And then you see those other teams fall out where people had tickets and then they're no longer interested in going.
Right.
I actually had a buddy who somehow came across tickets for the game last night for $25 a piece.
$25 a piece.
Lives in Mississippi, and he said, "Gosh, it's 4 hours. I could get to New Orleans to see this game for $25 a ticket."
Okay.
But it's
I'm
just
shocked
people,
because they were just like $2,500.
right? It's people who may have had Duke tickets or may have wanted one of the other teams to make it into the championship game, and then once their team was out, they lost interest and had no longer had interest in going.
Right. Okay, so these have been some great conversations. One was a little off topic, but still, fit right in. Something that I think maybe the NCAA will consider going forward. Maybe they won't, but certainly some that the blogs are talking about these ESPN pros and whatnot.
Yeah.
We'll see how it works out.
We'll see.
All right, we'll also see how it works out in the forecast today with some rain headed our way.
Yeah, rain is headed our way later today, and some of it could be quite heavy at times, even torrential through that evening commute. That's really going to be a messy time of the day through about 7 and 8 o'clock tonight. So plan on that and plan a couple extra minutes for your travel out and about this evening, home from work and school. It'll probably take a little extra while as weather will probably be impacting that ride home. Heading into your Wednesday, though, we do dry things out for your Wednesday. It's windy still, a windy Wednesday, and we're going to make a run close to 80 degrees for Wednesday afternoon. After that, our second system heads our way late tomorrow night into Thursday morning. That's the one that has a little better chance to bring us a couple strong or possibly severe thunderstorms for your Thursday morning. After that, we are drying things out, cooling things back down as we round out the work week and head into the weekend. Your Friday opening day for the Hoppers in downtown Greensboro. It'll be a cool Friday, a windy Friday too, with highs in the low 60s. Chilly on Saturday with highs in the 50s. We're back to the 60s on Sunday and 70s again by Monday. And again, I was talking about the Hoppers there. It is probably the best week in sports. We have March Madness coming to a close. The Masters starts. We have opening day of baseball. I don't know what more you can want.
And forgive me, but that game is on Friday?
The game's on Friday.
It's on Friday.
Yep.
All right, we have a lot coming up with other sports, college basketball now. Well, the NIT, if you follow that, is happening. So, it's not completely over, but, the NCAA Big Boy Finals is over. All right.
The big boy.
We'll see you guys tomorrow for After GMS right here on the News 2 Facebook page. Thanks so much for the conversations and take care.
See ya.